What's up guys, Cameron here on Camtech TV, and this is the Nokia 9 Pureview. So Nokia has had a strange road. They started off with Symbian being their operating system that they created when they were way back starting in the smartphone gang. That series was awesome. It was simple, it was plain, and then they moved on to Windows. Again, simple, plain, did the job and did it in great fashion. Then they went away when the Windows died, and they started making a comeback with stock Android, teaming up with Google and making the Android One. And the Android One program is, and Xiaomi is a part of this too, is stock Android that is with a different manufacturer other than Google, and you get software updates guaranteed for 2 years, and then you get security patches for 3 years, which is awesome. I love stock Android. I think it's the best rival to iOS. It's simple, it's clean, it's plain. There's not a lot of gimmicks into it, and that's what I feel like with Samsung and their One UI. I don't like a lot of the features that are on there. I feel like they're gimmicky, and I don't like their OS. I don't like their software. So I think that Android One is the way to go if you don't have a Google Pixel. Now, before we dive into the camera, which I love, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but just think about this. For $699 with Nokia 9, think about this, what you get for $699. You get a Quad HD Plus 1440p OLED display, which is 6 inches. It's absolutely beautiful, although it is a little outdated with the bigger bezels, but you do have a in-display fingerprint scanner, which works pretty well. New tech, love it. $699, remember. Next, you have 6 gigabytes of RAM, Snapdragon 845 processor, 128 gigabytes of storage, USB Type-C 3.1, fast wireless charging, glass front and back. There is no plastic on this phone whatsoever. I love the hardware on this phone. It's absolutely stunning. And then the 5 cameras on the back. Now, I took my SIM out of my iPhone XS. I put it in the Nokia 9, and I have to admit, I loved it. Now, the last Android device that I was using was the Samsung Galaxy S10, and I have one right here. And here's the Samsung Galaxy S10, and it's sorry, it's really overexposed, but it's great and all, but I love stock Android more. I feel like a lot of the features on Samsung are really gimmicky, and I do not like the cameras on the back. I don't know what it is with YouTubers saying that the Samsung Galaxy S10 cameras are so great. More cameras does not mean better quality. You have a main shooter, which is 12 megapixel, you have a telephoto lens, you have an ultra wide 16 megapixel lens, and they just added different focal lengths. They have the ultra wide is pretty cool, but again, it's the same image quality as the S9, pretty much the same image quality as the Samsung S8. So you're using one camera lens depending on what mode you want, ultra wide, telephoto, whatever. With the Nokia 9, you're using all 5 lenses at once to produce one photo. Okay, why? Well, all 5 cameras have the same focal length. You have 3 monochrome sensors in 3 of the cameras. 2 of the other cameras have RGB color sensors. Why are there 3 black and white sensors? Well, it's to add in more light. And on top of that, this device shoots in RAW format, which is absolutely amazing. Why do you want to shoot in RAW format? Well, RAW means that you're getting the photo the way that it was intended with all of the data that the camera is letting in. Now, because it's shooting in RAW, this means bigger files. This means that the phone takes a little bit to process the photo. So if it takes 5 or 6 seconds for you to see the photo, don't worry about it. It's normal. It's RAW. So with JPEG, something like the Pixel, the iPhone, something along those lines, even though they're great photos, there's a lot of post-processing, compressing a lot of things, taking it down to about like a 5 to 6 megabyte photo. As in RAW, you're going to get a much bigger file. 37, 40 megabytes is what I've been getting on average with this device. Now, why do you want a RAW file? Well, you get to keep that detail when you're editing, and that's the biggest thing. When you pull these photos up in the Lightroom, getting a RAW image and adjusting the color is totally different than if you were to take a JPEG image and go and edit it in Lightroom. So with JPEG images, if you start to edit them, the more edits you do, the grainier it looks. You're damaging the quality of the photo. If you take a RAW photo and you start to edit it, you get to keep that detail. You can up the clarity, the sharpening, do whatever you want with the noise reduction, and you can make a really, really beautiful photo with all that data that you captured. Now this phone captures a ton of data, and the depth sensors are really, really, really good. With all those 5 cameras coming down, shooting all that with that one photo, it's capturing a lot of data. Now it doesn't have a telephoto lens, it doesn't have an ultra wide angle lens. All 5 cameras are all the same focal length, but you can capture more data for those stills. Now, another cool thing about this phone is that on the front facing camera, you do have 4K 30 frames per second video recording, which is Samsung S10 is the only other phone that can shoot 4K 30 on the front facing camera, which is great. To go along with that, you have 3 mics to choose from on the Nokia 9. You could choose the microphone that's on the front if you're shooting 4K 30 on the front, or you can choose all 3 mics to shoot audio. To record audio in what they call 3D. It works amazing. The only bad thing that I can say about the Nokia 9 is that you have one small bottom firing speaker right there. There's no surround sound. There isn't any sound coming out of the coming out of the speaker up top. Don't know why, but it sounds bad. It sounds really bad. Now, a lot of people are griping about the in-display fingerprint scanner. It is optical. It's not the ultrasonic that is on the Samsung. I like the optical better. You do have to press a little hard on it, but I like it a little better. The animation is super buggy and slow on the Samsung, and I'll show you right now that this isn't so bad. So you can see it right there, right in the middle, and if I put my thumb there and I just press hard, there you go. You're in. It's not so bad. On the Samsung S10, with all the animation and everything, it's kind of gimmicky and it doesn't really work very well. This one, I haven't had a problem with it. For $699, I say this device is a major hit. You get your always on display because it's OLED, and this is everything that you could ever want and need in a device. I feel like this is faster than the Pixel because this has 6 gigabytes of RAM as opposed to 4. So you can get more power. You can get a great camera if you're into editing photos, and it's all for $699. The Pixel starts at $799 for the Pixel 3, not even the XL. So you can get a big display, a more powerful stock Android experience for $699. If you guys are an Android enthusiast and you're not on the Samsung gimmick train, I definitely think you should go pick up this phone. I've never recommended a device this hard before, but I highly recommend this phone. Android One is a great program. I think Nokia did something great here. I think keeping the price at $699 is something that should be noticed, and I hope that OnePlus doesn't go into the flagship market pricing. I think $699 keeps this phone on notice, and then what you could do with $699 keeps the competition tight. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and drop a like, drop a comment. Go ahead and share this video. Hope you liked it. Go pick yourself up at a Nokia 9. Have a good one.